Okay, so welcome to episode 1. I have decided that I'm going to devlog this, which is something that I haven't done before. So I'm going to basically video log all of the stuff that I'm doing to make this game. So basically the game is going to be a farming kind of tycoon game, and I might change the idea. I mean, I definitely will change the idea, but I think the fundamentals are going to stay the same. I want to have some kind of sandbox functionality and inventory, those kind of things, and plots of land that you can place around, be able to decorate your farm and stuff. So the first thing that I want to do is to get this gate to detect when a player has touched it, and set a string variable in here that basically says plot owner, and then we're going to use that to detect whether it's the person who owns the plot is doing the certain things, like clicking on the soil or whatever have you. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so now I have added this value here, which basically updates when you walk through a gate here, and it says the value of the plot that you own. And then in the plot I also put a plot owner, and it basically says that I own this plot. So we can use that to basically check that it's the correct person when we're doing actions on the farm or whatever, building. So I think next thing I'm going to do is make this text here say the player's name that claims it. And also another thing that I want to do is have like a template which has all of the stuff that the farm would have, so like the fence and like the decorations and stuff that you start off with. But I also want to have a bunch of these bases around, and basically the script will copy and paste this stuff onto each plot, so I don't have to copy it across each time I want to update it, which will save me lots of time. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come back when I've done that. Okay, so I've just added that this text updates when you walk through it, and also the template plot clones across the starting items from the starting items folder. If I just run this here, as you can see, it's moved it across, even though it's like rotated and stuff. So it's adjusting for the rotation, and I just used the set primary part C frame function for a model to do this. So I just moved all the starting items into a model, and then I'm using a clone of the base to align them correctly. So it's just an easy way of transforming them all without having to do a bunch of math. And also, yeah, I can have this any way I want it to be, so even that way, and it will account for it, as you can see. So I think the next thing to do now is I want to add some kind of counter with coins, and then also I think have some kind of crop in here that can be harvested. Okay, so I've done a bit of stuff. I decorated this, and also I've made the crop here. It's just basic. I think I might replace it in the future, but for now, testing purposes, this is good enough. So if I hit run, as you can see, this smoothly animates, and it takes a minute to grow fully, but I have made a module script here where I can specify, like, offset the y-axis of the plant by, so underneath when you plant it. So when you initially plant it, it'll be in the first position, and then the max is where it animates to. And then also put a grow time, so 60 seconds, a minute. So I can specify for each crop. And then here's the wheat crop. And I've made it so that basically these soil things, the collection service, I have a tag on the soil, and basically it checks if it has that tag, and then if it does, it goes through the soil and checks if it has a crop, and then if it does, it it grows the crop that it's got. So, for example, the model, based off the model name, so it finds wheat and then goes, oh, I need to run this. So I think that's a pretty good system if I want to add more crops in the future, without having me sort of to manually write in more, but I may change this. But I think for all the crops, this is pretty much fine, because, I mean, yeah, it doesn't really need to be more complicated than this. I may make a different kind of animation where it's like, I don't know, for like a pumpkin or something, it starts off small and then gets bigger, rather than rising out of the ground. Because for wheat that makes sense, but for something like a pumpkin it doesn't. And I've also added these parts in here. These are basically going to be serving as plot expansions. So this is, I think this is a good size for the maximum amount of land you're going to need for farm. I can always extend it in the future if I need to, but I feel like there's no way I'm going to add enough stuff to this game, like buildings, to where I need to use all the space. Also, another thing I want to do is make it so that when you buy a new plot of land, it updates the fences. So it will be around the edge of the land that you bought. So i.e., let's say these three are selected, it's going to put a fence round here, round here, round here, round here, round here, round here, yeah. So it's like, it's your land, you know. I'll make it so that you can only place structures in here as well. I'm gonna modify some stuff and come back and I'll show you progress. Okay, so I've done a bit more. I've started on the fence generation, and just for now, I'm trying to get the posts and the sort of planks that go in between them to automatically populate between all of these fence posts. Obviously, these fence posts are not going to exist unless, you know, it's within the area of owned land. But first I need to actually get it generating a fence that looks like this. There's probably an easier way to do this, but this way, I guess, if I decide to make abnormal plot sizes or whatever, or for whatever reason I need to generate a fence again, I can do it. I'm just doing it now because I mean, I might add the functionality to build a fence wherever you want anyway, which actually, if I add in farm animals, wouldn't be so much of a bad idea. Just creating a pen, and then it figures out if it's a enclosed pen, and then you can put animals in. Okay, so I've added some new stuff. Some buildings and stuff. I've mainly just done building because I wanted to get some the map sort of blocked out, the basic bits. So this is going to be a land store. There's going to be an NPC here. You're going to walk up to him and buy land. If you've ever played Lumber Tycoon 2, just exactly the same as that. Doesn't need to be anything else. I've got this, which is going to be like a general store. You're going to be able to buy equipment and stuff for your farm in here. This is where you get your first tools. And also you'll be able to buy seeds for certain things. Here's going to be where you're going to sell your crops and other good, well, I think other goods, I'm not sure about that, but specifically for your crops, they're going to go, you're going to sell them, and then they're going to go up this conveyor into these silos here. As for the fence generation, I'm just going to use pre-made pieces rather than generating it, because I tried to do it, it's just, there's no point needing to do it like that. I'm just going to have them actually made. This here is going to be like a river and stuff, and I added some trees as well. But the game isn't really playable yet, so I'm hoping next episode I can try and get it so where you can plant stuff and harvest it and sell it, hopefully. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and comment what you think I should add to this game. And make sure to come back next week to see the progress on the game. I will leave the game's link in the description so you can play it.